morning. Welcome back to the cabin. We are here to boil sap this weekend.
Yes, we got a lot of sap to boil. We have just about, I think, 500 liters right now.
And good news, we have a snow warning right now. So it's supposed to snow all day today, and then we have 100% chance of rain tomorrow. So that is not ideal, but...
No, we have a little makeshift tarp over the fire pit area so that we don't get any extra water in our sap because we're trying to evaporate it out of there.
Yes.
But we are pretty well prepared, I think, other than the barrels are frozen.
Actually, we aren't really that prepared because we couldn't find a sieve, so we had to makeshift a sieve thing, which we'll show you later. Yes, our barrels are frozen, so that's going to be a real treat. So I think we're going to have to go around and collect the sap out of the buckets right now because that stuff seems to be liquid still.
Yeah.
So we can start with that, and then hopefully by the time that's kind of boiling down, the barrels will be thawed a bit.
So wish us luck.
And stay tuned because we are here all weekend.
Yes, we are.
Yes, 3 days of boiling. Okay, so we got to get started because we need a fire going immediately.
Yes, let's do this.
Okay. We finished checking all the rest of our buckets and we ended up with another 60 liters of sap. Right now it's -2, so nothing's running right now, but tonight it's supposed to go even colder than that, and tomorrow we're up to +10. So we'll probably get another good day of sap running tomorrow. For now, we have our first batch into our pan. Everything is looking so amazing. I think Jeff's favorite part right now is this chimney. You can actually feel that it's working. We were unsure if it was actually going to be functional or not, but it's definitely functioning because it's hot coming up. This pan is amazing. We poured in 30 liters, then we left to go check the rest of our trees. And while we were gone, I think maybe 15-20 minutes. I don't even know if it was that long, actually. Was it even that long? 10 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes we were gone, and we came back and it had already evaporated. So this thing is working amazing. I feel like we're in some sort of like maple syrup, sugar, professional factory or something. This is amazing. This is looking so good. Now that this is going, we're going to get the stove set up, and we're going to probably set it up around here somewhere so that when this is ready to come off, we can finish it right here, and then we'll have a table set up to finish and put it into the bottles. So for now, we're just going to finish getting set up, and we're just going to sit here and stare at this and watch it boil. That's not good.
So I'm pretty sure it's frozen. I'm just going to try and run some hot water over the end, and then maybe it'll thaw it out just enough to get some flow coming out of this thing. Obviously this is part of the problem when you're storing sap outside, especially when it's cold, but it's the risk you take. I'd rather it be cold and have a hard time trying to get it out than it spoil. It's not perfect, it's not flying out of there, but it's working. If we just keep it flowing, it should stay thawed. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty excited to actually open this tap and have sap come out of it. As geeky and nerdy as that might sound, it's pretty exciting. Also, what's very exciting is that the fire pit is actually working. It's a bonus.
Fire pit is working amazing.
Yeah, we do seem like professionals for sure.
Yeah, our second season doing syrup, and we are considering ourselves professionals because we have a tarp and a fire pit.
Right? And we have semi-professional sap storage.
We are, of course, joking about the professional part. We just feel so happy that this is working so much better than last year. Obviously, next year when we do it, we'll make some more changes and adjustments, and I'll be better at it next year.
Yeah, maybe we'll have an actual structured shack, too.
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah. pull it right to the rim.
We feel very prepared for this season of sap and syrup, except for one thing. So when you're cooking down sap, you are going to end up filtering your sap 2 times, well 3 times I guess by the time it's actually finished. So once the sap in here reaches 216 degrees, we're going to empty it from this tray, and it's going to be strained through a pre-filter into another pot, and then it's going to be finished on the stove up to 219 degrees, and then when it hits 219 degrees, then we will filter it through a heavy duty filter, and then at that point it's ready for the jars. Now typically when you filter your sap, you're going to want to use something like, well, something of this shape, but usually you're using a sieve, and then it has an attachment on the side where you can hook it onto your pot, so it's hands-free when you're pouring your sap into it. It reduces the risk of burning yourself, of course. Thing is, I ordered a sieve and it was not going to be here in time, so I was scrambling yesterday to try and find something of what can we use that might work, and I found this. For anyone who has chickens, they know what this is. It is a restraining cone, or also known as a kill cone. So basically you put your chicken in here and the head would come out and you dispatch your chicken. But it looks like a funnel, and it does the same job as a funnel. So what we're going to do is, or what Jeff's going to do because he's using the power tools, he's going to put a hole in each side of the cone, and then he's also going to put a hole in each side of the filter, and then he's going to put a stick through it. That way we can rest it on the pot, and it works the same as a sieve. It's hands-free while we're pouring the sap in.
I can't see you at all.
It's so much smoke.
It's steam in. It's mostly steam.
Yeah, it's very steamy in here.
It's like a sauna.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll put the stick through, and then that way we'll be able to rest it on the pot, and it'll be hands-free. We won't burn ourselves. I know a sieve has holes all the way around, so this is not quite the same, but functionality, it's better than holding a filter and burning our fingers. Here comes the steam again, because this thing is working so amazing. The sap is steaming and boiling away. Do you even see me anymore?
Not really.
Okay. Well, anyways, you guys get the idea of the cone. You'll have to keep watching to find out how it turns out. We're going to be here a while, so the chairs are necessary. It's like when I chop wood.
I didn't want to like blow it apart.
You look exactly like me splitting wood. I'm using all this footage.
Sure.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. That's how they're all supposed to go. So far we've added in probably about 110 liters of sap.
Yes, we're off to a good start.
We got a lot more to go. That's probably a fifth of what we have. Well, we had 500 this morning when we got here, and then we went and collected some more. I think we got another 60 today.
Yeah, we're probably like just shy of 600 liters.
So we're around the same as last year. So yeah, we're loving this setup though. It's awesome. It's actually kind of nice. We thought about getting a book and just kind of sitting here and reading.
Yes.
It's cozy. It's snowing out.
It is snowing. It is getting in the face a little bit. So hopefully next year we do host shelter that has a little bit of a...
three-sided one at least.
Yeah, it's getting me in the face.
So we can put our backs to it. But anyway, no need to complain too much because this is way better than last year. We would have been... At this rate, we would have been like maybe gone through 20 liters instead of how much we have so far because of the single pot boiling system. Like that's what we did last year basically. It was just that burner with those pots pretty well.
And this is now our finishing station.
Yeah. So we're leveling up.
Yes, because so this would be about just shy of 2 tote bins, and last year doing a tote, 2 tote, I don't even think we could do 2 totes in a day. I don't even think we boiled 2 totes a day last year because we were using the pot.
Yeah, it was a slow process.
Yeah, because we've only been at this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it would go all day. We'd shut it down at night, start it back up in the morning. Yeah, long process.
This is still a very long process, even using this, but this is like exponentially faster.
And it has been a bit of a wacky year for syrup because we have 20 buckets this year. Last year, I think we had 14 or 15, and we're only at the same amount. So you would think we'd have more like sap at this point. We will tomorrow, so we are up a little bit more than last year, and I'm sure next year will be even better. It's all weather dependent, really. Anyway, we're gonna keep boiling this down and just hanging out.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Homemade bagel sandwich. What you got there?
Tart.
No, not that. The other hand.
Barbecue. So I don't know what you guys call it on TV.
It's a spatula.
Or a flipper.
Yeah, our flipper. We forgot our little skimmer thing to skim the foam off of the sap, so we had to make do with what was here, which is a barbecue flipper that has some holes in it. It seems to be working. It's just a little bit slow.
Not ideal.
No.
Down to here. Half gone. Okay, so we've been boiling for about 5 hours now. We've gone through probably 120 liters or so of sap. We have about 425 liters more still to boil. As you can see, it's evaporating very well because it's so foggy in here.
It's not steamy. The sap has taken on a nice kind of amber color, so it's definitely starting to reduce down and become more like syrup. The sap's at about 200 degrees right now, just slightly over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer, and then we're gonna be transferring out of this evaporator, straining it with our pre-filter into a pot, and then we're gonna be finishing it on the stove where we can control the heat a little bit better. This is just so hot, there's no way we'd be able to finish it on here without boiling it and turning it into sugar, I think. I don't think we're that good.
No, I agree. I feel the idea is that you use something like an inside on the stove or a smaller burner to control the heat, so that way it doesn't get away on you, and you're not gonna overboil the sap.
Yeah, we don't want to do that inside though, because we did that last year and it was insanely sticky.
Yes.
My eyelashes were stuck to my face last year.
And the floor, your slippers
Yeah, it was a
or
mess.
socks would stick to the floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a little bit more time left to boil this down, and then we'll start transferring it over to the pots.
All in all, 10 out of 10. Happy with the performance of this thing. It's been awesome. We're just going to wait a little bit longer until we get a little bit closer to 216 degrees, and then we are going to filter it out and move it over to the big pots to finish on the stove. This looks ridiculous, but this is what's going to have to work for us right now because we do not have a sieve stand for our pot. The stick is in the bottom to stabilize it on the pot, but we're still going to have someone hold the top of it so it doesn't teeter back and forth. The reason we didn't put the stick super high up and put it into the pot is because our pot isn't very deep. So if we put the stick up here, basically the whole cone is sitting in the pot and it's not really going to strain very well. So we have a second hole up here for this little piece of wire, and that's just a hole through the filter to hold the filter in place so it doesn't collapse and go through the hole while we're straining the sap. I don't know what to call this, innovative, I'm not really sure, but we're just making do with what we have and it's gonna have to work for now. So right now we're just using our pre-filter And after it's finished cooking to the appropriate temperature, when we finish it over there on the stove, then we'll use our heavy duty filter, and that's gonna filter out all the sugar sand before we actually put it into our bottles, and it's gonna make our syrup a little bit more clear. Last year we did not filter our syrup 3 times. It tasted fine, everything was great. It's just the syrup was a little bit thicker and it had some sediment in the bottom. So this year we're trying to filter it 3 times to see if it kind of makes a difference. Yes, it's very good. We're losing this wire a little bit though. It's better than nothing, and also, who knew you could repurpose a kill cone into a sap strainer?
Got that?
Yeah. So you can see in the bottom of the filter that kind of brownish bit of residue that's in the bottom. Not to mention all the chunks of bark that are in there. So it's important to use the pre-filter at this stage so you can kind of screen out some of the bigger chunks. And then we move to the heavy duty filter after, which is super thick. It's almost like felt. And that will get the rest of the finer details out and remove all the sugar sand. And we should end up with like a pretty clear looking syrup. We've been out here for 8 hours. It's getting late.
We're getting hungry.
Yeah, we haven't even eaten dinner yet, and it's almost 8 o'clock.
We have the evaporator pan full again with some fresh sap. It's
Yes,
been
we
going
do.
for probably about an hour, I think now, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, about that. The sap that we have on the burner that we're just trying to finish right now is about 215 degrees Fahrenheit. We need to get it up to about 219 degrees Fahrenheit with some very teeny tiny bubbles, which are the telltale sign that it is ready. So we're just sitting there watching it because we want to make sure that we get it around the right temperature and the bubbles. It's a very fine line between, oh, we're almost there, okay, now it's sugar.
We're getting hungry. We're gonna go inside soon and eat.
Yeah.
We don't want to be out here all night, so hopefully this stuff hurries up and we can go eat.
Yeah, once the syrup reaches the right temperature, we'll fill the bottles, and then after that, I think we're going to shut it down as far as finishing goes. We'll continue to add to the big evaporator because that we can kind of add to it and then come back and check every 20 minutes or so until we go to bed. But as far as finishing goes, I think we're just finishing the 1 batch tonight.
Yeah. And then we'll be up early to start again. Probably as soon as the sun comes up, we'll be up.
Yeah.
Get the fire going again.
12-hour day tomorrow. More like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Yes, and I can hear the dogs barking at some sort of wildlife, so we should probably go see what's going on over there. It's 9 p.m. We're still out here.
It's taking way longer than we thought.
This last part, I forgot how long it actually takes.
Yeah.
But I think that because we boiled it in the pot last year, we let it get a lot hotter, like closer to 219 degrees before we brought it inside to finish it. Because finishing it seemed to be very quick last year.
Yeah, not today.
Not today.
We've been at it for a while, so we're gonna sit down, enjoy these ramen bowls.
Yes,
I
we
don't
are.
know what people eat when they make maple syrup, but we're eating fancy over here.
We're eating red Thai curry ramen bowls.
Okay, let's eat.
Let's do it.
You want me to do the pot, or you want me to?
No, you have the gloves, so you hold that. It looks beautiful. What do you mean?
No, it's just so murky in there.
Yeah.
Stuff in the pot looks
Yeah, look
fantastic.
at all that sugar sand in there, like all that sediment and everything. I would have.
Yeah,
Look at how thick it is now. It's cool. Look at it's actually syrup now. Well, it's syrup already, but I mean. Okay, sure. I don't think it really matters. It's just going down the point. Do you want to hold it over that though, so I don't lose it all into the pot?
Sure.
teeny funnel.
Yeah.
I only have a funnel this size that has a spout that small. Good.
It's a vodka bottle that looks like whiskey.
Turn it around. I guess it doesn't matter if you,
Here,
you can't see through
I
the
don't
label.
want to drop it.
I love it. It's so perfect. Oh, that's why we're holding it over the pot.
Right. Hang on. Do you want to pour that in here?
If I can aim it through that little funnel hole.
Can't see where it is in the jar, but I think you're
It's
good.
absolutely perfect. It's, come on. How does it get more perfect than this?
That's pretty good.
That is perfect. That's warm on the hands. It is 20 after 11 and we are finally finished our first boil. We ended up with 4 liters of finished syrup and I am ready for bed. Our evaporator is still pretty full of sap, so we're just going to kind of let that do its thing as the fire burns out. And then we'll be back out here first thing in the morning boiling again. We'll have another at least 12-hour day tomorrow, so it is time for bed.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I am tired. It was a very long night last night. I think it was midnight when we went to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe just after midnight. And
We both didn't sleep great.
no, we did not sleep
So-
great.
Up at 7.
Yeah, up at 7. This has already been going for hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, hour and a half. So we're already on our way to boiling today. We did finish last night with 5 bottles and we are hoping for what, another at least, we got to get at least 8 more, 8 to 10 more by the time we're done everything.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, at least 10 more we need. So we'll
The
we'll
fog's
see.
rolling in.
Yeah, we'll see what today brings. Obviously, this is working very efficiently because the amount of steam in here is wild, and we are very happy that we have this tarp today because it is 100% chance of rain for the whole entire day.
It is, and it's raining already.
It is pouring right now. Yeah.
The only challenge we have today is that our barrels still have some frozen sap in there.
Yeah.
I know some people think you can toss that out, but we're going to bring the empty barrels inside closer to the fire, and hopefully that melts the ice down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they're not quite empty. That's why we're bringing them over here.
Yeah. They're empty of liquid.
Yes, they are empty of liquid. So we're going to bring them over and hope to thaw out the bottom so that we can use the spigot that Jeff installed on them and was so happy to use.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, that's our morning and our day. So we're going to keep at it. It's going to probably be another long day.
Yeah, I'm hoping tonight that we can eat dinner inside though, because last night we cooked on the chimney and we ate outside. But I don't foresee us being able to eat inside today because we are already planning on cooking our breakfast out here on the chimney.
Yes, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
How's it looking?
Just under 210. Probably wait until about 215 degrees and then we'll move it over to finish in the pots and then we can start another round of this. We've been at it for a couple hours already and it's looking good.
It's time to eat. I feel like every time you see us, we're in the same spot.
Yeah. The lighting's the best here. Homemade bagel, eggs from our chicken, bacon, cooked on the fire while we're boiling sap. I don't think it gets better. I don't know what that place was I just did.
Oh, it's pretty good though.
Yeah, I don't think it gets better than this. Probably the next 30 minutes or so, we'll move that off there, put it in our pots to finish it,
Yeah,
and then
it's
start the next round.
getting very close.
Yeah, the rain's kind of like let up a little bit. The sun's trying to come out, but it is supposed to rain all day. Dropped a piece of your egg.
The dog will get it.
We're supposed to get up to 10 degrees or 12 degrees today.
12.
But it's just like really not feeling like that right now. We'll probably just finish these up and then we'll go out. We should probably check our buckets too because it's above zero. So SAP's probably running again.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We're up to 6 degrees now. The sun is trying to come out a little bit. It's getting nicer out. We just moved our first batch over into the finishing pots. Hopefully it doesn't take 5 hours again like last night.
We tried to reduce it down more in the evaporator pan this time to save a little bit of time boiling on the burner.
Yeah, it was the first time using it last night and finishing in the pot, so we weren't really sure how long to leave it in the pan for. I know it's about 216 degrees, but we were afraid that it was going to burn in the bottom once we started to drain it. So this morning we let it go a little bit longer to about 211, and we just moved it over into the pots and we just filled up the tray again.
Another 80 liters in the evaporator tray.
Yep, and we are ready for another round.
Yep. The buckets are filling up again,
yes.
So we're ready to pour in some more once it's evaporated.
Yep.
I feel like we have about maybe half a barrel left in total, maybe 3/4 of a barrel.
How many gallons or liters would that be?
I think it's about 40 gallons left.
40 gallons left.
Yeah. And we still have to check the buckets.
Yeah, we do have to check the buckets still.
So
once we get this going and finish that batch, maybe we can go out and check the buckets.
sounds good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and keep an eye on the pot until it's finished, and then we'll check back in with you guys. We just finished our second batch of syrup. We got 6 jars out of this one. We got 5 jars last night, so we got 11 jars so far, and it is looking so perfect. Jeff ate some. Actually, let me rephrase. Jeff drank some out of a mug this morning and said it was amazing. It smells amazing. It looks perfect. We're so happy with how this is going. We have another batch in the evaporator right now, and we will boil that down tonight and finish it again and hope for another 5 jars or so. And then we have enough sap, I think, to do one more whole round through what'd you say we had? 30 gallons left?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should end up with another, well, what? Probably
Four,
like another
4 liters or so.
Right, but 4 from this too. So we should end up with like 8 more jars, I think.
Yeah.
That would be
Somewhere between 8 to 10 probably.
Yeah, that's perfect because then we already have 11. So we should end up with about 20, which makes sense because we tapped 20 trees. So far, we're off to a good start. The sap is flowing so fast today. Look how fast that's filling up. We're gonna be here boiling forever.
We just came from the west side of the property with another, what's that, 10 gallons, so 40 more liters of sap. And we were almost overwhelmed with how much sap we have right now because we still have a lot to boil down, and we still have the 30 gallons or so in the drum, plus what we just collected from the west side. Now we're gonna go over to the east side and see how much is over there.
Okay, we're back from the other side of the property. Oh my God, we got 20 more gallons. And it was so funny because if this were the first week of collecting sap, I would be thrilled that we just got 20 gallons of sap. I would be so happy and I would be talking about it all day long to Jeff to the point where he'd be like, okay, I know we got 20 gallons. But today I'm like, oh my God, when are we boiling this?
We are running out of time to boil.
We're running out of time to boil because we still have to go back home at some point tomorrow. So it's looking like a real late night tonight.
Again, we'll be seeing you guys around 1 a.m.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm very happy that the trees gave us all the sap and that we're going to have so much syrup. I'm just overwhelmed with the short amount of time we have left.
Yes,
I think
sure.
is the issue. Whatever the numbers are, we have
lots.
a lot more sap to boil, like hours and hours and hours worth. So instead of talking to you guys, we're gonna go and boil it.
Yeah, we are having pizza tonight, though.
Yes, we are having pizza tonight.
And we're gonna cook that on the chimney as well.
Yes, we are. Barbecue chicken pizza with sourdough crust. I just made some sourdough pizza crust and it's rising inside by the fire. And I'm actually looking forward to that because that is homemade barbecue sauce, and the chicken that's going on the barbecue chicken pizza, homegrown chicken.
Yes.
So very exciting.
Very hungry. Burnt lots of calories today.
Yeah, especially just now walking through all that wet snow. So we will see you soon for pizza time. It's getting cold.
Yes.
It's getting cold, it's very windy, and it's also getting dark.
The wind was taking away some of the heat from our sap evaporator, so we put up another tarp around the back to kind of block some of the wind and keep us a bit warmer.
It actually is so cozy in here now. Definitely can still see your breath, but it is way cozier in here now. The wind is not coming through, which is nice.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we'd done this last night, but it wasn't windy last night, so I guess we didn't really need to. It just feels like we're in a little hut now. It's nice.
Could have did it when it was raining this morning, I guess. But
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, it's nice. It's cozy. We're almost down to this last little bit in the evaporator. Then we're gonna move it over and start finishing it.
Yep.
And then we're gonna start making some pizza.
But we're also going to fill this back up
Of course we are.
and boil some more. But yes, we are just about ready to transfer this over to our finishing pots, and that will be the third batch that we have finished by the time that's done. And then we will fill this back up. That's going to take all night to boil down again, and then hopefully tomorrow morning we can finish what's left in here, and then that would be our fourth batch finished. And I'm really hoping that that's
We're gonna have to check the buckets.
that's
again.
wrapping up the sap for us. But our buckets are still on the trees, and they are not
filling up.
flowing lightly. They are flowing very quickly.
Still lots of sap, still lots to do, but we're still working away.
Yes.
Gonna get her done.
Yes, and then we're gonna eat some pizza.
You can probably cook it on the chimney now that there's no wind.
Sure, all right.
Yep.
Chimney pizza.
Chimney pizza.
Okay. It's just after 8 o'clock and we are hungry, so I had started some sourdough pizza crust earlier in the day and it is ready. Well, I guess it was probably ready hours ago, but we couldn't leave the fire. I made too much dough, so we did end up with 2 pizzas, but that is fine because at this rate we are going to be awake all night long and probably need some food for later. So we just did a couple barbecue chicken pizzas, and we're just going to put some tin foil over top, and we're going to go out and cook them on the chimney, and that is where we will stay for the rest of the night.
Welcome back. It's morning number 3.
Yes, it is.
And we're down to our last little bit of sap. It has been a long process. I was up late last night. Holly went to bed because she was tired. I strained out the last bit of syrup around 12:30 and put it into jars.
And now here we are again.
Yes.
So this morning I got up and tried to sneak past Jeff, and I came out here and started the fire, but you were awake right after.
Around 1:30, I put the last little bit of sap in the evaporator. So Holly came out here this morning. It was about room temperature. She did a great job of getting the fire going, and now it is evaporating away.
Yeah, did you put wood in it at 1:30?
Yep.
Yeah, but this morning it was completely burnt up. There was like a handful of little embers in there.
But it's a beautiful morning. It's sunny. It's chilly. I think it's -10 still.
Yeah, it's pretty cold still.
But the sun's up. There's no wind. So it's actually really nice out. And we will keep evaporating.
Yeah.
And hopefully be out of here by like noon or 1 o'clock.
Not likely noon. No way. Maybe like 3. We also can take down this back wall now that the wind isn't here, because now it's just pushing all the smoke into our faces because it can't exit the back. Lots to do this morning. All right, we got to go take that wall down.
Yes, let's continue. Thank you.
We've been at this for about 3 hours this morning. We've evaporated about 50 liters. We still have, well,
there's probably like at least 60 in there.
yeah,
still.
definitely probably 60 liters to go still. It's taken a little bit longer to get the fire going super hot this morning because we're at the bottom of our wood pile now and it's a bit wet.
Yeah.
So every time we throw wood on it, it just kind of smokes us out. And
We're trying to split it up to make the pieces smaller.
yeah.
Doing our best to get it nice and hot so we can get this thing finished.
Yes, because this is it. We're done after this. But we're not actually done after this because we decided that we're going to come back in a couple days.
Couple days being 5.
Yeah, a few days. And so I decided I want to leave the buckets on. I want to leave the buckets on. I looked at the weather. It's supposed to be like 8, 9, 10 degrees this week. Still negative in the evenings, like -1 at night. So we're not going to come up and check them before we come back. We're just going to let them fill up. And if they do fill up, if they're all full, that's another 400 liters.
That's crazy.
Which means what? That's another 10 liters of syrup. 10 liters of syrup finished.
It's another 2 50-gallon drums.
Yeah.
Full.
But we're going to stay overnight. So if that's the case, we should be able to wrap it all up. So far, we have about 13 liters of finished syrup. Once this tray is done, we should have about 17.
Yep.
And then, I mean, ideally, we have some more sap and we come back and we get another 4 liters, and we're up over 20.
Yeah, that's a lot of sap.
That's perfect.
A lot of syrup, actually.
A lot of syrup, a lot of sap, a lot of
A lot of
fire, a lot of
everything.
smoke.
A lot of
work.
A lot of work. Definitely a lot of work.
A lot of work. There's a lot of smoke right now. It's steaming good. Anyways, after this tray is finished, we are going to pack it up. We're going to head home
Yes.
so that we can prepare to come back in a few days.
Lots more stuff to do at home.
Yes, lots more stuff. We decided to go for a little walk and scout out some more spot for firewood for next year for sap, and we found a very good spot. What do we got here? 10 acres of trees down?
Yeah. Probably 5.
Yeah, so the wood we're burning right now is a little bit wet because we just cut it in the winter, but this has been sitting here for, well, by the time we use it next year, it will be almost 2 years. So it should be dry by then. The storm came through here and knocked basically, well, I don't know what the percentage of trees is here, but probably half. We got tons of wood for sap for probably eternity, and more than enough to heat the cabin and home.
Cheers. To a good maple syrup year.
Yes, we are wrapping up our first boil right now. This is very exciting. We are just moving over our last batch out of the evaporator to finish it, and we'll end up with another 4 liters from that.
Yep, I think 17 total, you said?
Yeah, to go with our already 13 liters that we have. So you can see here, I don't know if it's hard to tell in the sun or not, but mine is lighter than Jeff's. The only reason it's lighter is because we used different sap. So sap earlier in the season versus later in the season. We boiled this one a little less time than we boiled this. Let me rephrase. We boil it the same amount of time to the same temperature. It's just we didn't continue to add to this one as much as we added to this one. So as you're filling up your evaporator, you're adding sap to it, you let it boil down, and you finish it, and then you end up with syrup. But what we did with this batch was we continued to add sap to it as it boiled down, so it boiled longer and it got a little darker in color and became a little bit more concentrated. Tastes the exact same, it just looks a little bit different.
Right, and to add to that, this one here we probably did about 120 liters, so that's what she's saying is like, we only boiled through 120 liters to get that color. This one would have been like 160 liters.
Yeah, or maybe even more. Who knows?
Maybe even more,
yeah. So, but they taste the exact same. They smell the exact same. And last year we tried to filter with coffee filters. Big mistake. Don't do that.
It blows a hole right through.
Way too hot. Can't do that. And then it just got to the point where I was like, we are putting too many holes in these. I'm getting annoyed. It's taking forever. And I stopped filtering it. So the last ones that we had at home, they're almost black based on boiling, but I also didn't filter them at all, so some of the sugar sand is still in the syrup that we have at home. That's totally fine. We eat it. It's not a big deal. It just, when you filter it so many times, like this was filtered 3 times, it becomes a lot more clear, less cloudy, and you can see right through it. I don't know if you can see through it because it's sunny out, but this is perfectly amber. All in all, I don't know about you, I'll speak for both of us maybe, but I am thrilled with how this season went.
Yes, and Holly's kill cone / filter contraption worked perfect.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was very good. It would have been nice without a handle, but whatever, it worked fine.
Lots to learn this year too, to take into next year.
Yep.
I don't know if we'll do more, maybe, we'll see. But definitely learned a lot, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You don't know if we'll do more tabs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're doing more tabs.
Okay.
Yeah. We did 20 this year.
There's your answer.
We did 14 last year. We did 20 this year. I would really like to get to 50.
50? Yeah.
But I might maybe go to 30 next season. I don't know.
Yeah, little things like the barrels freezing and stuff like that. Like, lots to learn, lots to still work out. But like you say, all in all, it was a great season. Very happy with what we got, and we'll be back next year to do it again.
We'll be back in a few days to do it again. One thing that we did learn actually too is our tray does not have a divider in it. So our evaporator tray is just on the fire and there's no divider. I should have ordered one with a divider in it so that it heats up the sap at the back before we're adding it to the sap at the front that's almost finished. Adding cold sap to your boiling sap, it just takes the boil away, and then you have to wait again to heat it up. So yesterday, later in the day, we were like, what are we doing? And we started putting it in a pot on top of the chimney, and then the chimney was heating it up, not boiling it, but it was still warm when we were adding it to the tray, so it didn't take as long to boil, and it also did not take the boil away. So that is definitely a key for next year. I don't know why it took us a whole day and a half to...
Well, we didn't have the extra pot either.
Well, that's true. We didn't have the extra pot, but I wasn't even thinking that. I was
one
like,
of those,
look at that. We're pouring cold sap and it's taking the boil away. Anyways.
One of those things we learned this year.
Yes, definitely something to take away for next year. This has been a great season, and I am excited to just get a teeny bit more in a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be good on some pancakes or waffles soon.
Yes, we will have that.
Thanks for tuning in for this episode.
Yes, and we'll see you in a few days.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.